woman play victim, like say if she's wrong in a situation, is she gonna play victim? The thing is, and women, y'all probably gonna get at me for this, but women are allergic to accountability for the most part. Okay, they
Truth at the table.
Yeah.
What's good, everyone? We are back with another episode of Truth at the Table, and this episode is going to be the men edition. All right, and so I'm just gonna let each and every person here just introduce themselves, starting to my right.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Tariq.
How's it going? My name is Zay.
Hey, what's up? It's Dwayne.
Hey, what's good? I'm Jovi.
All right, and our boy Eddie. All right, we're just gonna just get into it. Yeah. So we've been here chopping it up, and the first question that we're just gonna start right out the gate is, what do men want? You know, the producer's been doing some research and just wanted to find out that main question: what do our men looking for? So, who wants to tackle that?
All right, I'll kick it off.
All right, cool.
Just as far as what men want in general, I can think for myself. What I definitely want is a legacy.
Yeah.
You know that's I have this weird thing about, like, I want to just live forever. So I want whatever I do on this earth to last. I want it to outlive me. So I mean, having a legacy and an impact on this world is definitely something that I want for myself, you know, and my family.
That's real dope, man, because sometimes we could just think so be so short-sighted and not just think, but at the end of the day, you want something to really, in order to have an impact on this world, is for, like, you know, your other generations to actually still talk about you. Abraham did that. You know, we still talk about Daniel. We still talk about Moses. You know, we still talk about all of these great patriarchs. So, all right, that's dope. So, legacy, what else?
I mean, I want to add to that. To be honest, a legacy is pretty good, especially if you're married and you want to start a family and everything. Having a legacy actually, pulls for what you are and who you are as a person. And what men want. Like, to me, when you look at that question, you can look at it on like many different levels. Like, what do men want, as married men? What do men want, like, as single men? Because I do believe as men, we're always misconstrued, we're always, taken aback, we're always pushed one side because, this is how the culture sees us and this is just how we will be forever. But if it is that, I believe that men will talk out to say, hey, this is what I want, because nobody don't expect men to just talk out and be like, hey, this is what I want. Yeah. Like, nobody wants men to express themselves, but when we do, they're just like, oh my God, he can do that. Like, men express themselves. So like, yeah, so
have feelings?
yeah, exactly. Like, like men are not supposed to have feelings, and especially for myself, growing up in like Jamaican culture. Like, if it is that you're supposed to cry or do something that seems feminine, you're seen as soft. Brother, you're soft. Yo, you need to grow, man. Grow into the corner and plant some corn, man. Wom.
I never heard of that.
I know, yeah, that's kind of new. Going to corner.
My dad used to say that to me all the time. But that's just the thing. Like, men are always pushed aside, and if it is that we're supposed to be the priest of the household, that can't be the case.
Exactly. Yeah, because we have to be vocal.
Yeah, we have to be.
Requires leadership. What up, Zay? What you got?
Oh man, legacy is definitely important.
Yeah.
Just backing off of what they said, what men want. Like, different men are going to want different things, but for a fact, if I can say one thing that all men should have in common and what we want is purpose. It's like, whatever you doing, why you want to do whatever you do, it's like, that's going to be your purpose, right? So I can go back to the legacy. So if you understand that, it's like, you understand that, hey, I got to leave this legacy. It's like, okay, so what's my purpose for doing this? And I think in finding that purpose, men would expound upon, I want this, or I need this, or like what Dwayne said, this is important. And it's like, yeah, this is important. So I think it'll be a lot of different things, but collectively, it should point to whatever that man's purpose is.
That's good.
understanding his purpose, then you can understand him and why he expresses himself, how he expresses himself in the way that he expresses himself. So,
Yeah. And I think a big problem is that a lot of men don't know their purpose.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Nah,
they
sure.
don't know it, so
Yeah, man.
they roam around aimlessly.
Yeah, man.
You know, and
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because, like, as you said, I remember in Genesis, like what God did, which was so interesting, He gave man a job before He gave man anything else. You know, so he created man, and He was like, "Hey, you're in charge of the garden. This is
Gave
what."
them a purpose.
Yeah, He gave them a purpose. So, like, ideally, as they said, like having a purpose really dictates who you are as a man. And because, you know, as I said before, you're always seen as this manly person. If it is that your purpose is leading you into a case where some people might see it as, you know, feminine, then you are not seen as a man anymore, right? So it always goes back to how culture sees us as men and how you see yourself. Because, yeah, we need a purpose, and yeah, we have a purpose and all of that. But if it is that we're gonna look at our purpose based on how culture sees that, then everything is just like outward.
that's good.
My man Treat need to chime in on it. So.
I mean, I don't know if it's because of my age group necessarily, but as far as what me as a man, as far as I want right now, is just stability, to be honest with you.
That's good.
Like, of course, I feel like almost every human, when they get to a certain age, they're always left with thinking, contemplating about what is my overall purpose in life. Some people, they toy with themselves, and it causes a real dilemma in them and their identity and so forth. But as of, like I said, as of right now, as where I stand in life, I just want stability. I want financial stability, you know, relationship stability. I just want to, you know, increase.
That's good that you brought up relationship, because that's our next segue. You know, now, so for the list right now, I got legacy, purpose, stability. What do y'all think, you know, how does that all play into the factor of choosing, you know, the right one, the right partner in our lives in that regard? Now, like, there's few of us, some of us are single, some of us are married, so I'm great that we could like just come together and just have different perspective on that matter. But just being that with the whole legacy, purpose, and
Sure, you do
stability,
need somebody to help with the legacy.
the helpmate right there.
That's
So
like the right woman or the right or wrong woman could literally make or break your legacy.
facts.
You know, so that's why it's very important that whoever you're choosing has to be aligned with your purpose.
Sir.
now that sounds all right. That sounds
Yes,
good and deep and everything. But
sir.
I'm gonna pick on Jovi for real quick, because I think so he's probably like the youngest, but yet he's married and everything. But how, like, were you really on that mindset when you first saw Krista? Were you really thinking on that deepness, or what, well, just what about her that you just was just like,
I know, right?
You know,
hot seat,
you know, all right, yeah, you put me in the hot seat. But you know, honestly, I met her when I was 19, and I'm gonna be real. I was actually thinking like that, because I was raised and groomed to think that way. To you know, when you meet somebody, or you know, whoever you date should be somebody who you would marry, who you potentially marry.
Ladies and gentlemen, a mature man.
Yeah, so there were certain things that I looked out for, you know, that, and the main thing was being spiritually compatible. You know, making sure that we believe the same thing, and we had the same commitment level to the kingdom and things like that.
Equally
So-
yoked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one of the main things, you know, that I look for in a woman. You know, that I looked for in a woman when I was still dating. You know, still single.
yeah. I got you. So that's what's up. So like anybody else that, well, I know that I'm gonna put you on the hot seat since you're the other married guy. So what like, you know, when you
To be honest, I was kind of all over the place because I didn't know. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know that was what I wanted. Right? So the thing is, sometimes when things are just plastered in front of your face, it's just like, oh wow, this is actually what I wanted. So like, I know that, you know, when it came to a certain age, when I was, because I got married at, how old? I got married at 25, right? I'm now 26. And when I was maybe like 21 thereabout, I was just like, all right, cool. I really want to settle down. I really want to find that stability. I really want to like move forward, because I believe that if it is that you're supposed to build a legacy, there has to be someone to build a legacy with. So what do I mean when I say that, you know, I didn't know what I wanted and I was all over the place? Like, I had a girl, because, you know, we're being real. I had a girlfriend, and at that time, I thought she was it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought she was it. Like, you know, she picked out wedding colors and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I feel so good. But then after that, I realized she did not know herself enough. So I can't love someone who doesn't know who they are. So, you know, that broke off. And, you know, I made up in my mind, like, I'm just going to focus on the kingdom, focus on what God wants from me and everything. And that's when my wife, Jessica, she just landed right in front of me.
fall into place.
Like, right in front of me, like literally right in front of me.
Exactly. And that's something that's one thing I want like a lot of young men to take away from this is you gotta chase your purpose first.
Yeah, you have to.
Don't chase women. Trust me, chase your purpose and the right woman will come along. She'll just be aligned with it. Because when you're out here just chasing women, it's just a distraction. And then you can never focus on the goals that God has set for you or that you set for yourself.
Yep.
Just so we're clear, chasing women is not a purpose.
Oh yeah, exactly. They will say that, like,
Somebody
gotta
gotta
be
be like,
like,
listen,
clear,
man, this is my purpose.
I have to chase it. No, but and so what was some of the qualities then, guys? Before I take y'all off the hot seat, what was some of the qualities you said that in your wife that you've seen that kind of aligned with your purpose?
all right, so
I mean, yes, she believed the same thing. You got that down.
Yeah. So that was one of the things on my list, which was spiritual compatibility or being equally yoked. Another thing was emotional intelligence.
Okay.
You know, how can you handle conflict? You know, how do you handle not getting your way? How do you handle it if we get into an argument? You know.
All right. Curious. How did you actually find that out? Did you like create arguments just or I mean, or just hanging around groups?
I'm
that
leaving the
like,
toilet
what?
seat up. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a big one. But,
Put some hair in the sink, bro.
no, but I mean, look, life itself creates the arguments, you know. So it's like you just learn through trial and error, and then you know, the main thing is just having that open line of communication and telling the other person, this is how I want to be loved or respected, and vice versa. That way, we both know how to treat each other, and we know how to handle each other, and you know, moving forward in any conflicts or arguments or anything. Like that.
Okay, so it's safe to say that Krista was a key in your car or anything when she got married.
I mean, I mean,
All right, we ain't gonna put on some shout out to Krista. Shout out to Krista.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, emotional stability was a big thing for me.
All right. So,
Did you factor in the potential to grow? Like while you were doing these trials and errors, did something happen? You were like, well, there's definitely, you know, potential here for further evolution in maybe emotional stability, maybe emotional.
You mean like room for improvement?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always. I mean, there's still room for improvement.
Naturally, yeah. As
Even
long
now,
as you're living, but
but definitely in the obvious instances where it's like we gotta fix this. One thing that I like about me and Chris's relationship is that we always have an open line of communication. So anytime something went bad or went left, we addressed it right away, and we nipped it right in the bud and corrected the behavior moving forward.
how did that look like? Like, did y'all just like actually have and like do y'all have because I talked to like
Text or meeting at 8
various no I'm like saying that with sometimes married people, they'll either have just like, all right, you know what, this is a safe, let's just establish a safe spot, or they use a code. All right, can we talk freely right here? Like how
So we don't necessarily do a code or whatever, but we do make it be known like this is a safe space for us to express our emotions. So it is definitely like, all right, we're gonna talk about this.
all right,
It's very
Established.
structured. It's very structured. It has to be, because if it's not structured, it's just gonna be arguments.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna be in our feelings, throwing
Shade.
hurtful things out. Yeah. So
That's
we
good.
have to let it be known like, all right, I feel this way, you feel this way. Let's discuss this and let's try to work to the middle. You know, and the thing is, most relationships don't have that. Honestly,
I know,
They
and
don't.
as simple as it is,
Yeah.
it's that and that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know the thing about it you said about, but it's not as simple as you think it is.
not
I
at
think
all.
it's very difficult because I believe that one of the key things that any man and woman should have in a relationship is communication. That is one of the key factors that I personally was looking for. I was looking for, someone who was humorous, as Jovi said, spiritual compatibility, all that, someone who was compassionate, someone who like I knew could pick me up when I was down. You know, I was looking for like someone who can actually be there for me. And before we got married, Jessica showed me that she was someone who could actually be there for me. Like anytime I called her, anything at all. And sometimes she could do things and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm just in awe because like you could be chasing a woman and you're like, all right, cool, this feels nice. But if it is that, you know, you're chasing your purpose and then that purpose aligns with the woman that God has for you, that's something completely different.
That's awesome.
So communication, trust, you know, always, you know, understanding, because I'm someone who has anger issues. So if it is that, believe it or
Confession is
not,
good
yeah,
for the soul. It's good that you can admit that.
yeah, believe it or not. And like the thing is, I realized that if it is that I wanted to get married, I have to know that you can deal with. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm gonna get angry all the time and all that stuff, but there will just turn me upside down. I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Let me just, because I have gotten really when it comes to my anger, and it's only because of her. It's only because of, you know, she helping me and she being there for me. So every man like getting married, like they have to always look for something like that fits them specifically.
That's good.
Yeah, because
good.
everybody has their own traits and character, personalities, and all that stuff. So everyone has to know what fits them specifically.
Shout out to Jessica for calming him down, keeping him out of the pen. All right, but all right, let me just jump over to the single guys just to find out, like, you guys, do y'all know y'all? I'm sure that you know some type of way your purpose is and whatnot. So what are you looking in for a woman to have to align with that purpose?
Yeah, like what traits are you looking for in a woman? Like, I'm curious to know as single guys.
Like that. But me, you know, I can, like I said, I can safely say I've been through trial and error for what exactly I want necessarily. So I actually found out what I don't want first.
Sometimes that's just as helpful. Finding out what you don't want.
Exactly. Then, you know, somebody aligned with that, you know, with the wants. After you cross out the list, like, okay.
But what are some specific things on that list? Like,
not to, you know, steal anybody else's, you know, answer, but like you said, emotional stability. Because I'm personally patient. I enjoy banter. I enjoy talking.
Art.
It is art. It can even be seen as a dance as well. As because some people,
Okay, Picasso.
some people have come to me like for advice and so forth. So it can be seen as either or. And so I seek for emotional stability, communication, somebody who can align with comedy, funny, what I find funny personally. Some people find dark comedy. So somebody sitting here joking about my little rainbows, it's like,
I know, right? Like, I want to be able to sit down and watch a cartoon with you.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
exactly, you know, something that you both can enjoy.
Yeah.
And so forth. Somebody who knows and understands who they are as an individual and as a person. Somebody who's a little bit more on the realistic side as well. As you know, I do enjoy my optimism and so forth, but
You need somebody
also,
to keep you rooted.
keep you grounded. You do live on Earth, and Earth can be pretty messed up.
Yeah.
So
That's good though.
somebody who also with understanding.
Yeah.
So, you know, because sometimes you can say something and some certain things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're a Jamaican, even though you're black, you know, you're dating somebody else. Even if you're dating somebody else black, it's just certain things in the culture, that you know you can say and they're like.
Communicate, yeah.
So somebody who has the capacity to understand if you're dating, you know, outside your culture, outside your race, and so forth like that. Because understanding is a huge thing to me.
For sure.
You know, because I'm a person that doesn't necessarily want to be grounded or, you know, restricted to just dating, you know, a black woman or white woman or etc. like that. I don't necessarily have that kind of stern, strict type of culture. So as long as you have the ability to continue to understand where I'm coming from, I will open up that line of communication so I can understand also where you're coming from, and we can be equals in this relationship.
And understanding is very important in a woman. I mean, for both men and women, but like not only understanding culture, but also understanding just me and my emotions and how I process things.
Your past, where you come
Yeah,
from
and my
personally.
past, where I come from, like my background and why I process things the way I do, and why certain things trigger me the way it does. because understanding that is going to be very important in how you deal with me. You know, so you know the
That's
right
very
things
true.
to say.
You can't just
know,
scoff. You can't just scoff everything off. Like if you mention
Yeah.
something, it's not a big deal to whoever's outside this house. But you know, to me,
To me, it's huge.
it's
yeah,
huge.
exactly. So,
Like you said, some certain things, you know, just turn you upside down, and
Yeah.
that happens to certain individuals.
yeah,
What
your
do
wife
men
gotta know
want?
your truth.
Yeah. What do men want? Men want to be understood.
Yeah.
Men want to be understood.
Yes, I like that. I like that we're always going back to the, as much as we can, because I know it's like such a blanket statement. We can't speak for all of the men on this planet, but there's some general things that I can think that we could safely say.
Yeah.
And we're more complex than sometimes society portrays us to be. You know, they'll just think that we're just so basic and we just like meat and potatoes, but there's complexity in guys. So, women are complex too. I mean, they
know that.
they take the lead,
We know that
but
already.
there's some complexity about us too. So what's up, Zay? What you?
Man, for me, overall, I consider myself. Now, my friends are gonna be like, "That boy lying," but I'm like simple, right? But I'm simple to the fact of this, right? The number one thing is it's a couple of things that can make a relationship just grow and be great. But for me, is character. Now, this is the thing, right? From a Christian perspective, because I think sometimes when you try to pinpoint like this, or this is me and this is me, this is me, the thing is every human is complex in their type of own way.
Yeah.
So nobody's the same, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, to me, it's like it doesn't matter if you have an anger problem. It doesn't matter if you have an attitude problem. It doesn't matter what you went through or how much it affected you, right? It's like I feel, and especially as you grow and become mature, there's a responsibility for me to a person that is like, okay, how is my character gonna reflect with this person? My character's number one thing is because I just really believe like it doesn't really too much matter what it is. It's like my mindset as a Christian man is to apply the godly principle to my life, right? So even though I'm this, or even though I'm dealing with this, it's like, okay, God, I know I got this problem going on, but you said that, you know, men should love his wife like Christ loved the church.
That's a tough job.
So no. Again,
Like Christ loved the church. Like,
Man,
look,
so that's
look, it's the highest level of love.
Yeah.
well, I mean, to me, we can't, like, I don't think the man can love his wife just like Christ loved the church. I think it's the standard that's there. That's what you aim for.
Amen.
Because if that's what you aim for, it's like they say, if you aim high. So, man, if you aim to please your wife or in a relationship, if you aim to respect the person, it's not that you're going to get there all the time.
That's true.
But like for me, in the tough situations, for me, where your character at? That's all I want to know. You know what I mean? And believe it or not, I can say just one other thing that's important to me is I'm really big on. I think it was Muhammad Ali. He the one had a quote that says, "I really don't too much care about how you treat me. It's like I really like one thing or a quality that I look for in a woman. I want to know how you treat your mom. I want to know how you treat. I'm gonna be honest. As a Christian, I've learned. I want to know how you treat people that done did you wrong. Like that's big for me, right?
That's big.
I'll tell you why. I pull the Christian perspective in here. I mean, you know, God gonna get you. He ain't gonna get me, right? But it's like, example, you got a wife, right? Let's just say because none of us are good, right? So all of us are gonna falter. She the one caused some type of situation, whether it was gossip or whatever. Now, as a man, it's your responsibility to protect your wife. But a lot of times what I see is, you know, women, I guess sometimes when they get in their emotion, again, for me, it's character. You know what I mean? How's your character going to reflect in a situation even when you're wrong? Are you going to play the victim? Are you going to be like, well, it don't matter what I did. You my wife. Yeah, you my wife, but baby, you was wrong. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, how are you going to respond when I act like that? When we get home, you going to shut down on me? When you get home, you're going to be like, you know what, babe, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So
Character.
That's what I look for.
Yeah.
Do I see that a lot? I'm gonna be honest with you. No.
And if you don't mind, not to cut you
No,
off,
go ahead,
because
man.
what you were mentioning, like will the woman play victim? Like, say if she's wrong in a situation, is she gonna play victim? The thing is, and women, y'all probably gonna get at me for this, but women are allergic to accountability for the most part. Okay, they typically
Truth at the table.
Yo, they typically do not like to take responsibility, even if they're dead wrong. Like they always, it's the hardest thing to get a woman to actually apologize. Like, has your mom ever apologized to you before? You ever heard like? Oh,
Really?
see,
I had a
you-
Jamaican
Like your mom.
Your mom is lit.
I personally align with women. Well, I mean, every man should learn how to treat a woman and how to love from their mother, from their sister or whatever like that. And I mean, so in that case, I personally align with and befriend women that can't. So I do agree, because I've dated and also known as associates women that are allergic to accountability. That's a good way to put it. But
Hashtag the term.
me personally, I align with as close friends and confidants.
I think so many times people are like, let me make sure I be right on this. They be like, accept me the way that I am. I'd be like, bro, you've been through a whole bunch of stuff. You got a lot of trauma. I'm not quite sure. No, bro, like big time. It's like, accept me where I am. I'd be like, all right, so God accepts us the way we are, but then he gives us a whole bunch of rules and precepts and concepts to follow. Why? Because it's like, okay, I understand, I'm a generalizer. I understand this is what sin is, and this is what you guys probably struggle with or whatever. But even God, says, okay, so I'm gonna give you grace and I'm gonna give you mercy, but then there's the sanctification process that comes along with growth, that comes along with maturity, right? So I ain't finna trip about you sinning, but I'm gonna trip about you continuing in sin, right? So it's like, for me, accept me who I am. That's gonna take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And again, bro, when I say stuff like this, people be like, what's wrong with you? I'm be like, well, what's wrong with me? If I'm treating you wrong as your husband, tell me.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm doing something that makes you feel insecure, if I've disrespected you, open your mouth and talk.
Yeah.
Forget about
Communicate.
forget about how I feel, because at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, people out there subject the truth. I don't be on all that, man. Look, at the end of the day, if you say something, if you do something maliciously. And again, not to jump on a woman or whatever, but women can sometimes, and I've seen it. It's like sometimes I'd be like, man, that's his wife, and she did that. I don't know how that dude's gonna deal with that. Like, for real. And it's like, I'm like, that's like malicious, bro. And they got kids, and I'm like, he still be loving her after that. And again,
I love the church.
Bro.
Forgiveness, like Christ loved the church. Because you think about what the church, acts.
I get it. I
That's
get
a big
it.
change their ways though.
Man,
Well,
look,
there's certain
I
lines, though.
get it. But after, all I'm saying is, so what men want. After a while, sweetheart, if I keep telling you something, or keep asking you something, baby, you gotta listen to me. Like, if I ask you to do something and it's something you really don't want to do, but it's gonna make our relationship better because I like it, will you be willing to do it? And then, are you trying to change me? You missing my whole point. You want to be with me, right? And it's vice versa too. In relation to the woman, hey, I want you to go to Walmart, but you don't like shopping at all. But you understand that when you go to Walmart with me, I mean Walmart, I don't like being at Walmart, but when I go to Walmart with her, when we get back home, bro, I'll be like, oh snap, I think I need to start going to Walmart. I'm just saying, right? So it's like, even though I don't like Walmart, I might not understand this, even though this makes me vulnerable, it's like, if this makes this person happy, then just maybe I should figure out how to do this. And again, as men, I think men do a very good job of this. They do a very good job of letting women know, hey, this is what I want, or this is how I want something to be. And it's like, again, another thing that men want, they simply want you to listen to them, right? Listen to me.
Yeah. You want to be understood.
It's like, listen to me. Subjective on a happy wife, happy life. I get that part, but I don't agree totally with that.
Yeah,
If your husband
it's
happy,
changed recently. It's a happy spouse, happy house. Because men got feelings too. I can't be the only person making you happy and me be miserable.
I like that.
if the man happy, now I'm not talking about a selfish man. I'm not talking about a man that got a whole bunch of issues and trauma. I'm talking about a well-rounded, connected man that's secure within himself. If a man happy and he in love with you, you don't gotta worry about nothing. The thing is, no, like honestly,
That's
like
very true.
like if a man is truly in love with you, right? You do not have to worry about nothing. Now, don't try to make the man be, you know, well, baby, you need to be making $1 million a year. Hold on, time out. You know what I mean? Like this dude probably makes 60K or 70K, but his whole world to a certain degree is you, right? Don't try to change that. You know what, man? Listen, man. It's if that man happy, you don't gotta worry about nothing.
And you said something very important, like you talked about selfishness.
Yeah.
And I think that like in a relationship, like you basically excusing selfishness, are you getting rid of selfishness, I should say, is a big part of having a relationship. Like someone said to me once that it's good to build friendship, right? Because maybe 50 years down the line, love will jump through the window, right? But if you have a friendship, if you have like that ground where the marriage was built on, the relationship was built on, then it's easier for you to, you know, grow old and, you know, be all lovey-dovey and all that stuff. But guys, wait. Eddie!
Uh-oh.
Eddie!
That boy got scared.
Eddie!
What's up?
What do you want?
Oh, his secret.
Like, everybody be talking. Everybody be talking.
I was
Eddie,
just here soaking it
yeah,
all
you
in.
just
He's
talking
like,
about
he's taking
what do
notes,
you
like-
want, man? What do you want?
No, well, basically just a lot in regards to, you guys covered everything, so I don't really chime in.
come on.
Chime in,
But
bro.
one of the things that I definitely as a man want is I do like women that has a purpose of their own. Whether if it's writing, it doesn't have to be this specific. Like whether it's writing a book or they have their business or it's just some type of purpose. I definitely am attracted to women that have that
It's a
type
huge
of
difference.
purpose. Yeah,
It's a
you know what I'm
huge
saying.
difference,
And then so that's one of the things that I definitely look for in a woman. And but basically the basic parts is just being able, you're intelligent, but you don't take yourself too seriously. You know, like you're able to you're able to still be down to earth.
Yep.
And I guess that
Yep.
kind of attributes from like how my mother was. She was very those that knew her, like you know, she was educated. You know, she was teaching since she was 19 years old. However, she was also very funny, and she was like she was,
teacher, you gotta be.
and so like, and she just knew how to. I don't know. They call it code switching. You know, like she just knew how to switch it. If she's hanging with somebody that's really rich, she knows how to rock with that. Like she knows how to hang with the people just around the way. Like so, that's something that versatility. That's one thing that I like. But as far as just to
Yeah, that was huge for me too. Like versatility, because I mean that's one thing I can commend about my wife, bro. Is that like I could take her to the most traditional church and she'll be fine there. She'll know how to talk, dress, and then, but then I could also bring her to my office happy hour. You know what I'm saying? Or like you know the holiday party. You feel me?
Exactly.
And she's not like socially awkward, like a fish out of water. You know?
That's big.
Because that's
It's like having-
where do you
'cause
carry
that's-
me?
Because that's character, bro. Trust me.
Yep.
Understanding who I'm with, right? A woman is a reflection. I know in the whole feminist movement. The amazing thing about how God designed, bro.
The handle is there.
Bruh,
Instagram handle.
the amazing thing about how God designed this husband-wife thing becoming one flesh. I use this analogy, and most musicians will catch it, right? Men, now I'm talking about when you marry, right? Men always set the tone, like in everything. Set the tone in everything. The thing is, men always set the tone, but women always are the adjusters. So it's like if you get a speaker, on a speaker you got the bass, you got the treble, and you got the volume, right? So the tone that comes out of that speaker is
Built in.
like it's built in and it's the sound that goes out. But the person that does the adjusting is the woman. That's her job. So
Okay.
the man set that tone, but the wife is gonna reflect. All right, babe, that's good, but I'm gonna turn this bass this way. I'm gonna turn this treble this way,
Exactly.
and that's how God designed it. So both people can stay humble, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about the man. Oh, I'm the man. I'm setting the tone. That's good, bro. That's your responsibility. God gave you that responsibility. You set the tone in your relationship with your wife, with your kids. But at the end of the day, a woman is a reflection. That's good, baby. Well, I'm gonna turn this bass this way. I'm gonna turn this treble that way. And here we go. When the man loves his wife, guess what? It's cool, babe. You can do that. We good.
Yeah, exactly.
No
House
problem.
to a home, groceries to a meal.
Period.
Bad.
Yeah, man.
And I know this is like, it's called Truth at the Table, and it's good, and these are all good points and good things, but we always want to like even bring it down to like, what is the truth? And can we all fairly say that one thing that men want from women is like respect? Because
Oh,
that's
yeah,
because
absolutely.
even though God commanded that, like that's what we actually want is that respect. So basically, what does respect look like?
Because I mean, what Zay was saying, a lot of it, what he was saying, would fall under the topic of, I guess this is a bad word, but submission.
Yeah.
But
It's
I mean,
not a
I
bad
don't-
word,
no,
it's
no,
used in
it's not a bad word.
It's a bad word in this feminist movement right now.
Yeah, to them,
but
that's
honestly,
truth. It's
but,
truth.
but honestly, all submission is really just being a team player.
And then submission to your
Because
own husband. We're not
exactly.
saying to be submitted,
don't be submitted
to
to just
every
anybody.
man. No,
Right.
only to your, because the Bible
To your
said,
own
the word
husband.
says to your own husband.
Yeah.
Now all them other jokers they could kick. no,
Or
but I'm
even
saying,
to your pastor and your bishop. Be submissive to your husband.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have
so-
said
Be
that.
submissive
to
to,
your own
a
husband.
good leader.
Yeah,
Well,
but
as your husband,
That's
being
the
a
most
good leader.
important thing, and like you said, men set the tone.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why we have like this toxic feminist culture now is because men have dropped the ball
Nah,
before.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
time. I agree.
Men before have dropped the ball, so women now they feel like they can't trust men. So
Right.
that's why they take matters into their own hands, which is why
I
when
agree.
it comes to relationships, it's so hard for a woman. Especially nowadays, women, they make their own money. They're very competent. They're very intelligent.
That's fine.
Smarter than us, honestly. So it becomes hard for her to really submit
Yeah.
to a man. But when you find the right man, a
Yeah.
man who's respectful, who's secure
But
in
like
himself.
practically, Jovi, like what does submission, like what does it look to you? How does it look to you? Like submission.
Honestly, to me, submission just looks